What is going on, everybody? It's your dude Shopmaster. Welcome back to Lunchtime Sports with your boy. Happy Monday, August 8th, 2022. Pray everyone had a great weekend. I had a good weekend. Had a lot of stuff that I needed to do. Didn't get to my basement project like I wanted to. But all in all, I feel like, everything has been good. So, I'm ready. I'm ready for the week, ready to get things started. Of course, I'm a Madden guy, so I have Madden right around the corner. But today we're going to talk about some sports. We're going to talk about some of the things that went over the past weekend. We'll get into a little bit while we chill. Good morning. What's up, DM James? Good morning to everybody. By the way, this show, Lunchtime Sports, is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you get in, sign up with Underdog Fantasy. Use the code SHOPMASTER to get 100% duplicate or whatever, the cash back duplicate on whatever you put in. So if you put in $100, you're going to get $100. Basically, you get up to $100. So whatever you put in up to $100, that's what you're going to get back. Again, make sure you put in code SHOPMASTER. Put in exclamation underdog in the chat if you are watching here on this live stream. Other than that, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can go ahead and go to Underdog Fantasy. Again, use promo code SHOPMASTER. It helps me out a lot, so go ahead and do it, and I appreciate that. Yeah, we did get some MCS news for all my Madden guys out there. Probably be touching on that a little bit later because there are some things that I want to do with that, but we'll be talking about that later. No, we're not going to be talking about soccer. So I read an interesting article on Stephen Ross, and I got to find the article again. I lost it, but we talk about Stephen Ross, the owner of the Miami Dolphins. And I think what a lot of people don't know is that he has been a huge advocate for diversity in sports, like a huge advocate for diversity in sports. He basically was like one of the only NFL teams to have a minority at like each level. Like when he hired Brian Flores, he had two black vice presidents. He had the defensive coach was a black guy. The coordinators were black. The head coach was black. It was unprecedented. He also formed an alliance with a bunch of other sports figures and a bunch of other figures in other sports to create this organization called Rise, which deals with the diversity in sports, especially that in big time roles. So it's kind of interesting, how this is all played out. And it was a good article by The Undefeated, which they don't go by The Undefeated anymore. So ESPN's Undefeated now goes by and it goes by and something. It goes by Anscape. So it's called anscape.com. I think that's what it is. I think it's anscape.com. Anyways, very interesting article over there. Go check it out. It talks about the rise of the owner of the Dolphins, how he became an owner, how he fought for diversity in sports, not just in the NFL, but all sports. And now how he's looked at with the whole Brian Flores debacle. It was a very compelling story. It was a very compelling story. I don't really want to get into it too much because there's other stuff that I want to talk about. But it is what it is. Now, here's another interesting story as we move on. Longtime Oklahoma Sooners football assistant Kareem Gundy resigns after reading aloud shameful word off a player's iPad. So here's what they said. Kareem Gundy, a fixture on Oklahoma's sideline and the longest tenured football coach in the Big 12, resigned Sunday night, saying that he read aloud a word that I should never, under any circumstances, have uttered off the screen of a player's iPad during a film session last week. He said he noticed that a player who was supposed to be taking notes during a film session was distracted and said he picked up the player's iPad and read the words on the screen, including the unspecified term. Now, like, let's just get it out the way. We know what that unspecified term is. He basically said the N-word, which he probably should not have said. Like, if you see it, you just don't say it. But I guess he was like reading it, and maybe, I don't know. He says the unfortunate reality is that someone in my position can cause harm without ever meaning to do so. Gundy wrote in a statement posted to his Twitter account, in that circumstance, a man of character accepts accountability. I take responsibility for this mistake. I apologize. Gundy said that in the moment, he did not even realize what he was reading, and as soon as he did, he was horrified. He said he was horrified. Yeah, this is a real story. He said, I want to be very clear. The words I read aloud from that screen were not my words. What I said was not malicious. It wasn't even intentional, Gundy wrote. Still, I am mature enough to know that the word I said was shameful and hurtful, no matter my intention. Gundy, who's 50, the younger brother of Oklahoma State head coach Mike Gundy, played quarterback for the Sooners, blah, 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 blah. It said, it is with sadness that I accept Coach Gundy's resignation. He's dedicated more than half of his life to Oklahoma football and has served our program and university well. All right, so here's what I don't understand, though. I get it. Right? He said the word, but no, it wasn't the F. He said the word, but why did he feel like he needed to resign after that? Like why did he feel like I get it. If the football team says, yo, we gotta let you go, that's different. No, so not that guy, but he's his brother. But I don't even think it was that. I think he resigned. I think he resigned without like talking to anybody above him. I think he just was like, oh, I said this, let me take responsibility and resign. Like, for real, like, do you think that is a fireable offense? Do you feel like that's a fireable offense in this day and age? I get it with the whole, all the stuff that's going through. His statement is he doesn't want to cause a distraction for the team or issues for the school. I don't know. Like, I understand he doesn't want to be the distraction, but at the same time, we know what goes on like in locker rooms, right? We know, I'm pretty sure there are some coaches that have gone way overboard with their rants and other stuff. And I get saying the N-word is not appropriate, especially from, a white person in authority, right? Right? Like, he's the coach. It wasn't like it was another player who said this, so I just got here what y'all talking about. So Oklahoma Sooners football assistant coach resigned because there was a player in film session who was paying more attention to his iPad than the film. And so he took his iPad and started reading what was on the iPad. And he said the N-word while reading because that was on the iPad. So he was reading it. It wasn't like it was his own thoughts or anything. And he didn't realize it until after he read it that he probably shouldn't have said that. So I get it. Like, I don't know. Like, let me ask those in the chat. Do you feel like that's a fireable offense? I honestly believe that he just wanted to get out. He just wanted not to be assistant coach at Oklahoma anymore. And he was ready to move on. And he didn't want to tell his brother that he didn't want to coach there no more or something. I don't know. That's right. Gundy's at Oklahoma State. But yeah, he resigned off of that. I just don't think that is a resignable offense. Like, I understand if the school comes to you and says, hey, look, man, we're getting a lot of heat from this. We got to let you go. Okay. If that's the case, then okay, you know what? You got to let me go. That's my bad. And I get being accountable and showing responsibilities for your actions. Like, I get that. I totally get that. But I just don't think that he needed to resign. I just felt like he just needed to issue an apology and say, this is what happened. Anybody that knows me has never heard me utter those words in my life. Nobody has ever heard me say that. And with that, I apologize. I was reading and I started reading, and before I knew it, I said the word. But it's not something that I meant to say or I was thinking about saying. It was what I was reading. I don't think it is. It's different than if he said it out of hate or stupidity. That's what I'm saying. Great one. This wasn't out of hate. This wasn't out of hate. He was probably upset because this player should have been paying attention, and instead he was paying attention to his iPad, and he was probably, it's just like when teachers back in the day used to take notes from kids and read it out loud. Oh, can you meet me after school so you can suck? Oh, whoa. Like, I guess that's what he should have did, right? Like, I guess he should have saw it before he said it and stopped. But that's not what happened. Yo, shout out to my guy Roz with the tier 1 sub. Yeah, I just don't think I don't even think it's a fireable offense, let alone he just resigned. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. True. Like, I think he wanted out, and he saw this as a chance to get out. He saw this as a chance to get out. I'm pretty sure that player was black. But yeah, I think he's using this as a way to get out. And you're going to see him join the Oklahoma State staff next year. He's going to join his brother next year at Oklahoma State. Here's the other thing. This guy has ties to the school. So this wasn't like some Joe Schmo who got an assistant coaching job, because, somebody brought him along. Like, he actually played quarterback for the Sooners from 1990 to 1993. So he had some ties to the school. I think the school would have not fired him, slapped him on the wrist, say, hey, look, you got to be away from the team for, a couple of weeks. Maybe we'll suspend you the first 2 games of the season, but we don't want to lose you. We need you. Please don't go. You know what I'm saying? Like, even the, it says the Oklahoma, I guess this is the president or whatever. He says, it is with sadness that I accept Coach Gundy's resignation. He's dedicated more than half of his life to Oklahoma football and has served our program and university well. That doesn't sound like somebody who would have just let him go. That doesn't sound like somebody who would have just let him go. And it's not like this is a recurring thing. Dude was devoted 30 years. Yeah, exactly. Over half of his life he has dedicated to Oklahoma Sooners football. To be fired over something he's read, but what's the difference between him and Gundy? Come on, True. That's not even a question, right? There's a big difference. The difference is Gruden wrote the emails that said this stuff. This man was reading something off of a player's iPad. I don't know what was preceded before that, but he was just reading it out loud, trying to embarrass the player because he should have been taking notes. And instead of taking notes, he was glued to his iPad. So he snatched the iPad. He did one of these numbers. Oh, you wanna go ahead and not pay attention in film? Okay. Well, now we gonna read what you find so interesting. We gonna read what you got to say. Okay. So better get this back. And he said it. He just read it. Like, there's a huge difference between him and Gruden. It's not even close. Exactly. And Gruden had a history of this. It wasn't just one email. It was several emails. Why is it players from Oklahoma don't like watching film? I don't know. Yo, shout out to Dwayne Nichols for that follow. Appreciate you. So I don't think this is a thing. I'm telling you, he had to want to be out. You don't dedicate yourself 30 years and then think that a school is going to fire you because of that. Here's the thing. None of the players came forward and said anything. None of the players, I read the whole article. There's no players in here that says, yo, this coach said this and he's a racist and somebody needs to look into him. No, like, nobody said this. So it goes on to say Cincinnati Bengals running back Joe Mixon, who was coached by Gundy at Oklahoma, posted a letter on Twitter saying in part, if not for Coach Gundy, I would have not attended OU, survived at OU, stayed at OU, and succeeded in life after OU. I owe my education and professional career to him, and most importantly, I owe who I am as a person to him. Most importantly, Coach Gundy is not, and I repeat, is not a racist in any way, nor has a racist bone in his body, mind, or soul. I know racist. This is what Joe Mixon said. I have witnessed both obvious and discrete types of racism and have known and detested even more actual racists. Coach Gundy is the farthest thing from this type of person. And he put Sooner Nation, this ain't right. And then he tagged OU football. But that's what I'm saying. I don't think anybody ratted him out. And according to Great One, who is in Oklahoma, all the players are backing him and sending him well wishes. I think he wanted to get out. This is the only case that could be. He wanted to be out. This is what Gundy wrote. He said, I recognize this is a critical moment for Oklahoma football. This team, its coaches, players, administration, and fans do not deserve to be distracted by off-the-field matters while working to continue the tradition of excellence that makes me so proud to be a Sooner. Naturally, I lead these sidelines heavy-hearted. Coaching this football team truly has been my life's passion. This is crazy. Why should it be backlash towards that player? I mean, I guess other players could be mad that he put the coach in that predicament. But still, again, I think he just wanted to get out. Great One, is there any sense that this dude just wanted to get out? Is there any sense that he just did not want to do this anymore? All right, Great One posted a status in the chat. What does the status say? So his tweet, he says, Sooner Nation, thank you. It says, while considering this decision, I have been overwhelmed by the love and support of those who know me, my character, and my love for this program. I truly appreciate the support my players and coaches have shown. The support means more to me than I can express. It proves that what I've always known about OU DNA. We are family, so thank you. Then why are you resigning? Why are you resigning? I don't get it. I don't get it. Why are you resigning? It just baffles, for real. It baffles me. I really am going to be following this story to see if he comes back, because I don't think he comes back. Yeah, that's what I said. I said you're going to see him on the sidelines next year with OSU. You got to remember, this is the younger brother of Coach Gundy at Oklahoma State. So Oklahoma State, Coach Gundy could resign and then hire his brother, who's going to be the assistant coach next year. I feel like that's going to happen. Because the Great One, he wasn't the coach of Oklahoma Sooners, right? He was an assistant coach, right? He wasn't the coach. So maybe he wanted to be the coach, and they kept overlooking him. And now he's like, yeah, you know what? I'm going on. By the way, when I first came on today, I talked about this story that I read about Dolphins owner Stephen Ross. It says Dolphins owner Stephen Ross was praised for hiring black coaches. Then he got sued for discrimination. And it's a long article. I'm going to post it in the chat right now, and I'll post it in the comment section of the YouTube video. But it is a great read. I didn't know how much Stephen Ross has done for diversity in sports until I read this article. And it's crazy at his fall. It's crazy that he got sued for discrimination. But there was also an article, and they mentioned it in the article. Remember when people were protesting during the national anthem? So Kenny Stills was one of those who used to protest during the national anthem by taking a knee. And he would say that behind closed doors, Stephen Ross was trying to get them to stop the protest. But in public, he was saying that he supports us. So there you go. All right, next subject. Let's go to the NFL since we were talking about Ross in the NFL. Let's go to the NFL. It says NFL has asked on-field officials to focus on illegal contact fouls during the 2022 season. It says the NFL has asked its on-field officials to pay particular attention to illegal contact fouls during the 2022 season, a league spokesman confirmed Monday. The request could lead to an increase in such flags following a big drop during the 2021 season. Illegal contact refers to prohibiting contact by a defender when the quarterback still has the ball and remains in the pocket. It is a 5-yard penalty and results in an automatic first down. Officials flagged illegal contact on an average 97 times per season between 2002 and 2020. But that number dropped to 36, just 36 last year. The decrease prompted the NFL's competition committee to include illegal contact among its points of clarification, formerly known as points of emphasis for the 2022 season. Do you guys agree? Do you want to see more illegal contact flags thrown this year for that? I mean, this year. Sounds like the NFL wants higher scoring. Higher scoring equals higher ratings. Yeah. It's about to be I agree, B Parks. This is about to be 1 million flags thrown this season. Do you know how many players illegal contact in the first 5 yards when the quarterback still has the ball? No. This is when a cornerback has his hands on a wide receiver after 5 yards, but the ball hasn't been thrown yet. It's going to slow down the game. It is going to promote higher scoring, though. It will promote higher scoring. Just think, it's an automatic first down. It's an automatic first down. You know, last year in the NBA, they stopped at the beginning of the year, they stopped calling all these cheap fouls, right? I thought it was great basketball. It reminded me of basketball when I was growing up, where you can actually touch somebody and try to defend them and not get a foul called all the time. Then as the season went on in basketball, I felt like they were letting up on that. I feel like the same thing will happen in football with this. I feel like they'll throw a lot of flags early, and then at the end of the season, they're going to let it go a little bit more. Well, it looks like Trayvon Diggs about to get cooked even more. Hey, Trayvon has been taking a lot of hits lately. I don't know what's going on, Great One, with your Trayvon Diggs, but man, this man deleted his Twitter the other day. Did y'all see that? Did y'all see Trayvon Diggs get so mad and so tired of people trolling him because he kept getting burnt in practice that he deleted his Twitter account? Yeah, so when a quarterback bumps a wide receiver down the field before the ball is thrown, if the ball is thrown, it's called pass interference. Before the ball is thrown and the cornerback, bumps the wide receiver, it's called illegal contact. Just let them play. Just let them play. As a fantasy guy, I want pass interference yards to go to the offensive player. I agree. I don't understand why that is not an option in fantasy football. That would be great. There are so many wide receivers who just draw pass interference calls. So you're not gonna let me catch this bomb so my fantasy owners can get some more points. Instead, you just gonna push me out the way and get a pass interference call. I'm with you. Trades, what's up? Yeah, just let them play. Look, sports are better when the referees are, I won't say out of the game, because we need referees, right? But we don't need referees interfering in games and in plays that make a difference. We don't need that. So yeah, it says league sources surveyed by ESPN were split on whether the wording of this year's illegal contact instructions will lead to a spike in flags as occurred after the 2 previous points of emphasis for the foul. In 2014, flags for illegal contact rose to 148 from 52 in 2013. In 2004, they rose to 191 from 79 in 2003. So what they're saying is every time they have said, hey, let's make this a point of emphasis, it has risen dramatically. So last year, only 36. Only think about that. Think about that for a second. Only 36 times last year. Did a referee call illegal contact. Only 36 times. That's amazing. I guarantee you it's going to be like 130 this year. 136 this year. Wow. I'm not looking forward to that. All right. In other NFL news, running back Kareem Hunt requests a trade from the Cleveland Browns. I agree. First 4 weeks, 136 calls alone. What do y'all think about this? Kareem Hunt requesting a trade and the Cleveland Browns denying his trade. Look, he's the second back in that offense. Nick Chubb is the guy. I don't agree with paying him. Like, he's in the final year of a 2-year, $12 million deal. Here's the other thing. Hold on. Before we get to this, here's the other thing I don't understand. If you sign a contract for 4 years, $12 million, shout out to my guy, Big Stupid, 27 huge months, Tier 1 subscriber, appreciate you. Imagine that slippery Hunt asking for a trade from the team that gave you a second chance. I was going to mention that. But I don't understand the contract stuff. You sign let's say you sign a 5-year deal worth $12 million, and after 4 years, you're going to sit out and demand a trade. Dude, you still got 1 more year on your contract. Like, I'm having a hard time understanding why guys do this. I mean, I get it. You want that security, but you have a security. You got 1 more year on this deal, and then you become a free agent, and then you can go wherever you want. Why are you demanding a trade? You signed up for this. It's not like Nick Chubb wasn't on this roster when you signed it. When you signed 2 years ago. Exactly. And the Browns, like Big Stupid and True said, and the Browns gave you a second chance when nobody would. So you play 1 year from this 2-year deal, and now you're like, yeah, okay, get me out of here. Trade me. No, dude, you got another year left. So it says Browns coach Kevin Stefanski declined to comment on Sunday when asked about Hunt's trade request. I'm not going to get into really anything that has to do with our players and conversations. Hunt's situation adds more turmoil for the Browns, who are waiting to see how long quarterback Deshaun Watson will be suspended for violating the NFL's personal conduct policy, which we all think is going to be like a year, right? No way he gets less than a year. Watson was suspended for 6 games, but the NFL appealed, blah, blah, blah. Hunt's 27 has been productive during his 3 seasons in Cleveland, but he missed 9 games last season with a calf and ankle injury and ended up with 386 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns. Hold on, so let me get this straight. The Browns gave you a chance. You played 3 seasons with them before this. You get hurt last year. You sign a 2-year contract extension. You get hurt. You only get 386 yards and 5 touchdowns. And now you're saying trade me? Come on. Like, I agree. There are some teams he could go to and be the number 1 back, right? He can go to a lot of teams and be the number 1 back. Hunt, who led the NFL in rushing as a rookie with the Chiefs in 2017 when he had 1,327 yards, was released by Kansas City a year later after a video surfaced of him shoving and kicking a woman. He signed with the Browns in 2019 and was suspended for the first 8 games of that season for violating the personal conduct policy. This is what I don't understand. This team gave you a chance, and now you like, yeah, I don't want to play the last year of my contract with y'all. Like, I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. But how he get 8 games and Watson gets 6? This is the whole point, though, Vic. This is the whole point of that. He got 6 because there's no clear-cut definition when it comes to suspending these players for, violating the personal conduct policy, So we can't be ambitious or know his worth because they gave him a chance. Dude, he's coming off of an injury. Like, no. When you're coming off an injury, no. You don't know how much you're worth because you're probably not worth nothing. There's other teams out there like, oof, I don't know. I didn't see a lot of Kareem Hunt last year. He was hurt. He had multiple injuries. I don't see it. He only ended up with 5 touchdowns. No, I don't think he's wrong for seeking guaranteed money. I just don't see how players can sit out when they still are under contract. That's really my beef. My beef is not that you don't want to be traded and that you don't want to seek out a trade. My beef is when players be like, oh, I don't want to play with this. I don't want to play for this team no more. If they're not going to trade me, I'm going to sit out. Dude, you signed a contract. You signed a contract. Now, it would be great if you could say, if a player can be like, yeah, I signed a contract, but I want to sit out and then not get paid. Okay, that's fine. But that's not what happened. This year is incentive based for him. He just wants them to adjust that to more guaranteed. But he signed it. That's what I'm saying, Hot Sticks. If you want your last year to be more guaranteed, then have your representatives adjust that. You don't just sign, oh, my last year is incentive laden, I'm going to sign it knowing that in that last year, I'm going to buck at the contract that I signed. Like, that doesn't make any sense. He is, and we know at one point he was the top 5 back in the league. This is business. He wants a chance to prove it. He's big money back, and he won't really have that chance behind Chubb. Then why did he sign the 2-year extension? If he knows that, then why do you sign a 2-year extension? Y'all make it seem like Chubb, like they just got Chubb and said, yo, Kareem Hunt, by the way, you on the back burner this year. No, he's been on the back burner. He's been on the back burner. He was on the back burner when he signed the 2-year extension that he shouldn't have signed. He should have just not signed it. No, we're not even even if he didn't get hurt, he was going to play behind Nick Chubb. He was going to play behind Nick Chubb, whether he got hurt or not. The Browns are trying to make sure they can keep him for cheap after his contract. No, after his contract, he's a free agent. He can go wherever he wants. I get it, Hot Sticks. I get it, but I didn't say that he shouldn't do this. I said this is the problem I have with players is they sign a contract and then they don't want to be they don't want to feel it, be obligated to see it out. And it's possible he's okay with the role and wants to stay with the Browns and wants that security for what he brings to the offense. Okay, I get that. And that is probably the case, Shrey's, because he actually is at practice. He was at training camp. He participated in drills. So I think he wants to be there. He just wants to get paid more. My issue is that you sign a contract knowing full well that the last year is not good for you. The last year of that contract does not look good for you. But you want all this money up front. And then when you get to the back end of your contract, you like, yo, y'all need to pay up some more money. Why? We gave you a whole bunch of money at the front end of this contract. Now you want money in the back end, even though you signed it? I get it. That's how the NFL works. I just say I don't like it. I think it makes the player look bad. I know he's not the only one. No, I don't like any player that does this. No, this has nothing to do with Kareem Hunt. Right now, this is any player that does this. This is any player that signs a contract knowing full well at the end of their contract, it is going to be hell for them. And they are going to want a new contract. And they sign it anyways because they know when that time comes and they're in the last year of their contract, they can hold out, sit out, and demand more money. Even though that team gave you a whole bunch of money at the beginning of your contract. And I just want these teams to be like, no, we are not giving you more money. You asked for this money. You agreed to this money. This is the money that we're giving you. And you will like it. And if not, you can quit and we not pay you. Like, that's what needs to happen. I hate that. It's like the player, like, I don't know, what do you do in that case? Now, this isn't to Hunt's point based on the injury, but what about the players that clearly outperform their contract that do this and the teams are too cheap? Now, then that's what I don't mind a player like the rookies, right? Like the rookies sign a base contract, they perform well, and they're like, yo, I need some more money. And usually the team is like, yes, we need to pay you. We need to pay you. I'm always on the player side, forget the organizations. I don't know. It's tough. Like, I'm usually a player's guy too, but I know coming from an organization piece that, hey, look, we can't, sometimes we just can't give y'all the money. Let's just fix this and make every contract incentive based. That way bums get paid like bums and superstars get paid like superstars. I agree. I totally agree. If you come in top 5 quarterbacks based on these specific stats, then yes, let's pay you. Let's pay you. But if you get hurt, you don't rush for not even 500 yards. You play a third of the season, and now you come to me asking me for more money? Nah. I'm that same way. I'm that same way, Vic, with KD. Nah, dog. We gave you all this money. We did everything you wanted. You wanted us to sign DeAndre Jordan for this crazy amount of money. We sign him for the crazy amount of money. We bring in Harden. We do all of this stuff because you asked us to, and now you want out. We gave you everything you wanted, KD, and now you want out? Nah. If we can't find the right deal, you ain't going nowhere. That's my stance, Vic. That's my stance with KD. That's my stance with KD. Nah, bro. Unless we get everything that we want, you ain't going nowhere. When owners dump guys with contracts to save $5, is that cool? No, that's not cool. Because so then if you're not going to pay him, in which they have the right to do, why deny the trade? Because I got you under contract. You're holding the player back and yourself by wasting a roster spot. He's a talent, but he's a backup. He's probably the best backup running back, maybe besides the backup running back in Dallas, but he's probably the best backup running back in the league, Kareem Hunt. Yeah, I mean, that's Vic. That's just my stance on those things. Like, I deal with contracts sometimes. In fact, I told this in my Discord channel. A lady came to me, said, hey, I need a website. I need it up like really fast. And even when I said, hey, I'll get it up in a week, she was like, ooh, can you get it up faster than that? I said, I can try. Like, we would have to work together so I can get the content. So then I said, well, I don't start anything until we sign a contract and you make a deposit. I sent her the contract. I sent her an invoice. It's funny because I knew the moment that she didn't get back to me in a hurry, because she was in a hurry, that she wasn't going to do it. She got back to me 2 days later and was like, yeah, it's kind of outside my budget. Dude, it's outside your budget. I said, well, your timeline was outside my scope. Like, you can't expect someone to give you a discount or a break. And I was deferring her payments. I said, you don't even have to pay this all at once. You can pay, I broke it down into 3 months. You can pay this over the course of 3 months. But it wasn't within her budget. So, oh well. I can understand Hunt requesting a trade because maybe he wants the opportunity to start. He won't get that in Cleveland. Here's the thing. I agree. If he wants to be traded so that he can start, I would not deny his trade. But what I will do is make sure I get exactly what I want from it, right? Because this dude is under contract. So if I don't get what I want, he can always come back to the team and be the backup. I think he just wants to get paid more money and still be the backup. I think that's what we're looking at here. I don't think he really wants to be traded. I just think he wants more money. But yeah, I would trade him as long as I got what I want and nothing less. But my other thing is, how many other teams are looking at this and think Kareem Hunt is a number 1 back on their team, coming off of an injury and not performing well? Yes, we all know what he did 3 or 4 years before that, but what have you done for me lately? We know that's how it works in the NFL. What have you done for me lately? Like, to me, I'm not sure teams are willing to give up that much for Kareem Hunt, not knowing. It'd be different if he played all 17 games last year, had 800 and some yards, had 12 touchdowns or something. But no, he didn't. He was hurt. So the Raiders would like to send Kenyon Drake in a 5th round pick for Kareem Hunt. I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He wants it revised and wants to stay in Cleveland. And if I'm Cleveland ownership, I'm like, no, you You signed this contract for this amount of money to be a backup. Now, what has changed? What has changed since you signed this contract? Have you been overly productive? No. Have you moved up in position and are now the number one running back? No. Then why am I giving you more money for the same position with less production than you had when you signed this contract? That is my issue. All right, guys, I wanted to get into some other stuff, but our time is up. Y'all, appreciate everybody coming out to Lunchtime Sports and participating in the chat. That was fire. Appreciate y'all. For those who are watching on YouTube, make sure you stick that like button, subscribe to the channel. Also, follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/ShopmasterTV, where I'm going to try to do these every day during the week for lunchtime. But I appreciate you guys. Y'all be blessed. Have a good one. I'm out. Peace.